paused. All right, so I am with the Deliberative Democracy Lab, I'm Associate Director there, and what I'm presenting on today is a collaboration with the Crowdsourced Democracy team here at Stanford, and it's an AI-assisted deliberative platform called the Stanford Online Deliberation Platform. I can send my slides via chat. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. The platform itself is, when we say AI assisted, there is some AI in it, but a large part of it is actually a function of what the group is doing and a part of group decision making as a whole. And it's designed based on the method of deliberative polling. And we've been using purposely a way to use it an AI assisted because we want to maintain a sufficient amount of flexibility for human oversight and intervention as well. Thank you. I guess you'll have to advance the slides for me. You can move on to the next one. Deliberative polling has been around for the last 30 years. Clicked. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. The platform, as I mentioned, is a collaboration with the Crowdsourced Democracy team, which is led by Professor Ashish Goel, who is at Stanford and previously at Twitter and crafted their recommendation system and research strategy there. At a very high level to share, we've been doing our projects for the last few years already on the platform, and we've seen excellent results with high participant evaluations, very significant opinion changes, equity of participation, building of empathy, the discussions. We've had years of experience with in-person deliberation, so being able to compare the in-person and the online results that we've had have been very amazing to see a lot of consistency. The platform itself, because it's AI assisted, it does not have any human moderators, and we built in all the features that for deliberative polling would use as for moderators, and that includes a speaking queue, timed agenda, we have real-time transcripts, we track any offensive language, nudging people to speak if they haven't spoken in a while, providing help with arguments that we normally have in our briefing materials as well. In the next slide, I'm sorry, I can't seem to access the remote control to do the slide. Thank you. Just before I show you what the platform looks like and to give you an idea of what deliberative polling is, it's a method that is looking to see what the public or a certain population would think under good conditions. So not what they do think, but what they would think. And the deliberation itself is a process for them to weigh the trade-offs, understand what each other think, and be around diverse others so they can understand other people's lived experiences and have a very fruitful discussion together. The key components of the method are nothing too special. It's random sampling. We sometimes have control groups. They receive briefing materials that are balanced and vetted by an advisory committee. And we have small group discussions that are held on our platform in the online version, and then a plenary session with expert Q&A as well. And in the next slide, you'll see that we've been doing this process in over 30 countries, 100 plus projects, and in the last few years, using our online deliberation platform. In fact, this fall in December, we will be having a global deliberative poll with 32 countries over a period of about 9 days, where there will be 26 languages used, and at the end of those 9 days, 6,000 people will have deliberated on our platform. And on the next slide, you'll see just a quick summary, not even to date yet, actually, the different places we've been working in Japan and Hong Kong, all in local language. So the platform works in about 10 different languages right now, and by the end of December, 26 languages. One of the examples that I'll show you today from some of the results is from our event in September 2021, where we had over 1,000 participants on the platform. And in the next slide, and to emphasize, and it is that the platform itself is not entirely automated. There's a lot of human involvement. For each event that we have, there are technical staff that's available on the back end for support, and there are actual humans that will help participants with technical support as well. And we have observers on the platform to ensure that discussion is actually happening behind the scenes. They don't intervene. It's actually much like if you had an in-person discussion and you had a set of rooms down a hall, and you would peek in to the rooms just to make sure that everything was okay. But if a problem were to arise, we would be able to go into the rooms to check and to share any information. And of many of the thousands of sessions that we've run so far, we've only had to go into the room maybe twice to help settle some of the issues that came about. But that was 2 times of many that we've run. So now on the next slide, I'd love to show you just a quick video of what the platform looks like. And I hope that you're able to play. No, it looks like you're not able to play it. And that is unfortunate. So let me describe. So the picture that you see here as a placeholder for the video, you'll be able to see this video online on our website. But it is just a short 1-minute video that we send to all our participants so they know what to expect. You can see here the user experience actually, and what you see, the visuals, is very similar to Zoom, except that you actually have to request to speak. Instead of having it being an open mic that we have in Zoom. So you request to speak, and then you press a button to stop speaking. You can see right now in the middle of the screen-ish, there is a current speaker. This person is speaking, and then a queue forms as people get in the queue. It's like raising your hand. A queue forms to speak. And there's actually a timer for participants. Each person right now gets about 45 seconds to speak, and that time can be moved up or down, but we've settled for 45 seconds. We've done some testing on it as well, but it's quite actually liberating for some people to have a queue. And I know I don't have too much more time to go through, but there's a question selection process that you see here, where we, towards the end of discussion, participants are able to develop questions and pose them to our plenary panel. So the platform actually facilitates a collaborative process for where they, each person can type in and suggest a question, and then the group ranks the questions and decides which one they want to edit. And then they rank again to decide the top 2 questions they would send to the plenary session. In the next slide is yet again another video that you probably can't see. But this is actually from one of the sessions. It was a 1-minute video, and I just wanted to kind of show you in real time here, what a deliberation looked like on the platform. You actually can see here that the participants had numbers instead of names. This is actually, very unique to this particular project for the organizers because of privacy reasons, but surprisingly, actually people just referred to them as numbers, each other as numbers, and it didn't really faze them. And you can see there's a very long queue and people talking. And the view that you see here actually is the observer view. So when observers log into the platform to see see what the discussion is like, you actually see everything that's on the right-hand side. You'll see at the top, it says, Fox would like to move on to the next agenda item. And what happens here in the platform is that just like in real life, if the group wants to move on, there's actually a move on button in the platform where they click move on, and it actually triggers the rest of the participants to see a pop-up that says, hey, Fox would like to move on to the next agenda item. Do you agree? Do you agree that all the arguments pro and con have been discussed? And then people vote yes or no. And you can see here that we track who has agreed to move on and who hasn't. And it moves forward like that. We have a timed agenda, as I mentioned. So each agenda item receives a certain amount of time to for discussion. But just in real life, some groups maybe move faster than others, and they can decide to move on if they want to. And this function allows them to do so. And the same function of allowing a group to decide happens when there are nudges. If there is something potentially in offensive language that our AI has detected, it pops up a screen and says, hey, it sounds like there has been potentially offensive language made. Do you agree? And then the group decides on their own screen individually whether there was or not. So there is a lot of group work along with what you see on the platform here. And in the remaining couple of minutes I just wanted to share with you very quickly an example. So in the next slide, we had a project called America in One Room, Climate and Energy, over 1,000 people, close to 1,000 people deliberating together. I'm going to speed through. You can keep going through the slides. And some of the results you'll see in the next couple of slides. It shows that there have been significant deliberation and significant changes in in opinion change. In the next slide, it presents opinions about greenhouse gases and whether we should take action now. Otherwise, it'd be irresponsible for our kids' futures. And you can see, we broke it down by political parties, that there are vast differences by party, but you also see in particular among Republicans the increase from 36 to 57% after deliberation. And in the next slide, it's about eliminating coal. You also see a huge jump among Republicans as well. And there's also changes among Democrats. There was actually an increase in support among Democrats for the use of a new generation nuclear. So there were changes about this issue on climate on all sides of the political spectrum. And so we are seeing very substantial opinion changes among this platform that's online and where they are exchanging and talking to each other online. And in other examples, just in the last minute that I have here, that we see the group building relationships with each other. People don't want to leave the sessions. Our Chilean partners, where we had a national deliberation on pension and healthcare in Chile, participants didn't want to leave. They were crying at the end of the session. They wanted to exchange their social media handles and email addresses so they could stay in touch with each other. And in one of the projects we did among 18 to 29-year-olds talking about economic inequality, one of the participants I follow up with later talked about how in one of his groups, another participant actually said that some of the policies and such were racist, and the group actually had, in any conversation that would pause and shock the group. But in this situation, this person I interviewed said that he shared about his own family, how they're from rural parts of the country, and how his mom is racist, and how they've come to, meet and understand how her lived experiences are impacting her decisions and her thoughts and opinions. And it was through a lot of this discussion, other members of the group started talking about how they are from rural parts of the country and how they are, in fact, having difficulty dealing with these issues. And it opened up a whole new discussion amongst their group to talk about what it means to have these discussions about something that are so close to them. So in summary, sorry you didn't get to see some of the videos, but I hope I shared some of the really wonderful things that we're seeing in these online deliberations that we also see very frequently in in-person deliberations. And I'm happy to show you more and talk more about this afterwards as well. Thank you so much.